Okay, welcome to my review for Nightbook for Nintendo Switch by Wales Interactive. Nightbook is a FMV game. It's a choose-your-own-adventure movie. A little bit spookier than some of the others. It actually has to do with supernatural things, and you're a translator who does online work via video chat to translate, and you end up accidentally translating the equivalent of the Necronomicon, a book that communicates with spirits, and you end up summoning spirits. And I don't want to give away any more than that because that's kind of the basic premise. But it's good. There's a lot of good choices in there. There's a lot of difficult choices in there. I'm gonna look down my normal criteria for games, and I'm gonna have to go down the list here. Typically for graphics, I would judge graphics and frame rate. In this, I'm gonna have to judge it more like a movie. I feel like they did a really good job of filming around the pandemic. This game came out in early 2021, mid 2021, and so it was filmed in 2020, and then edited together and put together in a video game format by Wales Interactive, late 2020, early 2021. So I like how they worked around the pandemic. There was the people that were supposed to be living together. Ended up, locking each other out and making video calls back and forth. And all of her work, of course, she's an online translator, so doing video chats and translating works really well as a medium for that. So there was a lot of that. The special effects, they weren't all there, but since everything you were looking at was coming through a webcam, there was a lot of digital effect filters as if the connection was poor. So they didn't really have to do a lot of special effects. The special effects they did have were kind of cheesy, I've got to admit. But overall, there weren't too many of them, so it wasn't like it didn't take you out of the experience. The makeup was good. The acting was actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Some of these FMV games, the acting is kind of washy, but this one was actually pretty good. So I'm going to give graphics something in the neighborhood of a 7.5. I would go to 8, but like I said, the special effects themselves were kind of bad. But, it is what it is. It's not like they're producing a movie. They're producing a video game. Right? Gameplay, pretty decent. Like I said, the choices were tough. The choices were hard sometimes. Sometimes it was easy, but sometimes it was hard. There was a couple that were a little bit ambiguous, but I kind of like that. I think that added to the experience. That was like, hey, it's a little, whatever. I like it. I think that was fun. So I'm going to give the gameplay, a 7. Audio, the audio was probably the best part. There was a lot of spooky sounds. There was a lot of talking. It's all about the audio, and it was all crystal clear. Everybody was using a great microphone setup. Everybody had a great setup there. The spirits and the sound effects that they did have were pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and give the audio. The music was kind of bad though. The music was kind of lame. I wouldn't say bad, but it wasn't great. It didn't really stand out. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 6 because the music wasn't kind of where I thought it should be. Story-wise, this is where these kinds of games excel because I got to choose the story, or I guess my chat got to decide the story as it unfolded, and you get to decide what your character would or should do in a situation like that. And there are so many more endings to explore. I got one of 15 possible endings on stream, and I stream these FMV games on stream, and I love to do it, but I only do it once because I don't want to do spoilers. I want you to go out and buy this game. It is $10. It is $15 in the eShop, I think. $12 and $15 in the eShop right now. Often the Wales Interactive games go on sale for $8.99, $9.99, something like that. That's probably a sweet spot for purchasing those. Every now and then you can catch one for $5 on Steam. But they're really good. I really enjoy that. It's kind of a fun little way to watch a movie, but also kind of interact with it. It took about an hour and a half to complete one ending out of 15. So to get all the endings and choose all your options, you got 10 hours worth of gameplay there at least. So I'm going to give the story an 8. It was kind of predictable, but it was still pretty well written, and I love that. Giving this game a 7.125 on average, which I think is kind of where it belongs. Probably a good solid 7. I'm going to round it down to 7 when I have to give this to Metacritic later for whole numbers. So that's my review for Nightbook for Nintendo Switch. I enjoy playing this on the Switch because it's a nice portable handheld. You can kind of interact with this kind of movie anywhere. I believe a lot of these FMV games are being ported over to mobile, like Android or iOS. So it's always fun to play them there on the go as well.